welcome back to part 2 of this series. I need a name for it, because I haven't thought of one yet, which is probably a good thing I should have done. It doesn't matter. This is part 2 of the series I've started last episode. I'm good at talking script, yes. Here's part 2. I'm going to explain how this is going to work again, and we'll just go from there. So this series is going to be is based around Destiny 2, my favourite games, where I've started a brand new character from scratch, and I want to work through all the stories and campaigns, but make it a bit more of a twist and dramatic. For example, every time I die, I'm going to have to get rid of all my gear, or the one I'm currently using. So gun I'm using, gone. Armor, gone. And it means I will limit resources, and I kind of get more attached to it, which is a bit more fun. It just makes me appreciate what I do have. However, there'll be exceptions for it, like in this game you can upgrade your gear and armor to higher levels, and in terms of armor, it's a lot more expensive. So I'm gonna say when that's on max level, I can keep that forever, because it's very expensive in this game in terms of resources. Weapons, I'm gonna say they have two chances before they're destroyed if they're max rank, and yeah, that yes. These were my first steps in the tower, arriving in a hangar bay. First time in a place I'd have to visit many times in my journey across the system. This is where all the Guardians deploy from, where they can find all their resources and vendors, where there are vaulters where they keep their weaponry. I go somewhere to go talk with Amanda Holiday, the tower's best pilot and mechanic, who'd set up my ship for future operations. Despite being literally powerless, she's sent on a lot of missions, which I don't know why they don't send anyone who actually has powers and can't die. And it makes very little sense to me. After leaving the hangar bay and going towards the courtyard, I got stopped by a barrier. It seems the TSA still exists hundreds of years later. It was caused by me having the superconductor we stole from the facility last mission. After my ghost cleared me through security, I was able to walk onto the courtyard and meet the most important man in the tower. I met with Commander Zavala, Vanguard leader, essentially the leader of the Guardians. He praised me for my work in Russia, and how even though we were just out the grounds, we were able to do with a powerful high wizard. He told me the Guardian I'd worked with, Shorhan, had gave a report to Zavala and put me in a quite positive light, even to the extent he'd give me a reward. A prize, I don't know what for. I didn't really do much, I just shot a few people, cut off a few families, but we don't mention that. He told me to get something from his office. Upon rummaging through his entire office, I found a pistol, Lonesome. Apparently it's from his own personal collection, which I assume is quite a... means he likes me, alright? Come on. This makes it my second legendary weapon, and probably one of my important ones. Still, it's best to keep safe these days. I need to keep all these weapons, because you never know, I might run out. I've met up with Ikora Ray, another Vanguard officer. She leads the Warlocks, opposed to Zavala leading the Titans. She's not as rule-following as Zavala is, prefers to fight things head-on, deal with problems on the front, which makes me... I like her. Zavala's more of a bookworm, by-the-books kind of guy. Not very interesting. She would rather probably kill an entire race just to get revenge. See those eyes? He definitely has killed a few people. I mean, like, humans. The next character on my list of walking through a tower is the Drifter, a roguelike bearer. He doesn't particularly enjoy playing by rules, which, again, like Aurora, means I like him. He's his own mode called Gambit, which is highly illegal. And the reason I got stopped at the gate earlier was because of him. Everyone brings in contraband, which, come on, that's pretty fun. He gave me my first sword. Weapon type for that. It's really fun and interesting to use. Me being a fellow criminal, I thanked him and head off to meet my next person. Next was the British man himself, Lord Shax, an old guardian who runs the firearm testing. Guardian versus Guardian. Quite an intense place called the Crucible, where Guardians test their light against other Guardians for glory and rewards. He shouts a lot, and I can respect that. Near the end of our trip around the tower, we met Banshee 44, an exo who's the gunsmith of the tower. He sells all different types of weapons, which I will be allowed to buy once per session. I will be able to buy one weapon from him to add to my arsenal. You go to him for most catalysts to upgrade special weapons, and to get resources and mods, which can help you improve in the game. After that, you might be thinking, who's next? The best character at last? Well, you'd be wrong. The last character is Master Rahul, a Cryptarch. They decipher data, and that's how they get some loot for you by selecting engrams, which are a good way of getting loot and weaponry and armor. But other than that, he's a bit boring and a bit snarky, I'd say. Don't like him. And with that, the tour of the tower is over. Return to Valley tells us to go kill Navota. The wizard we failed to kill last time. She won't be getting away from us this time. We will have her. And we will avenge Shaw's team. Upon loading in, we were outside the Cosmodrome again. I was alone in the team. Zavar told me backup was on the way, but I had to go in alone, so I made my way up the hill on my Sparrow into the facility, for what was hopefully the last time. I made my way into the facility, being meted by the Fallen. I engaged them on Pond's site, like the good pacifist I am. To move forwards, I'd have to clear the room with the Fallen, and there were a lot of them, much stronger than I thought they'd be. Equipped with a scout rifle, a sniper, and a rocket launcher, I started dealing with them, but there were just so many of them. I resorted to heavy munitions, and then this happened. My first death. It shattered my weapons and armor. I had to put on new gear. It felt horrible. Dying again so easily, just to come back. But I had to persevere. I donned new armor and weapons, and prepared for round 2. This time, however, I had some support. Those other guardians had arrived, so things would be a bit easier now for me. When new gear on, I had a sense of confidence again, even though I was just dying. I wasn't going to let it happen again, so I ran in like a complete maniac once again. Didn't even care. What are they going to do, kill me again? I'd see them try. I was a bit more careful not to detonate myself with my own explosives again. But as I rushed in, my teammates arrived, stood them behind me on my map. To make things a lot easier for me. Despite being surrounded by so many enemies, I had this. After pushing our way through violently, we ran to the Fallen and the Hive in combat, and we started to make ourselves welcome, and started engaging both sides at once. Me casting Golden Gun to deal with any of them, and I awkwardly missed a few shots, but shh, we don't talk about that. Having new teammates were a big help. One was a new light like I was, and the other seemed a bit more, well, worn by war and combat. He knew what to do. And after we pushing through more, we made our way through the complex once again. Navota was close. She won't be getting away this time. We arrived at the entrance to the area she made her lair, and pushed in violently. We were home invaders, but they're evil, so it's fine. Despite most of these enemies are here being probably technically children, but yeah, you don't complain about war crimes and Star Wars and all that, and Marvel. Nothing ever happened from that. Anyways, we pushed on through. She was close, we could sense her. And on the other side of this door, she was waiting for us.
We're close now. She won't escape this time.
Retreat isn't an option for her anymore. Not with the brood doubting her. Expect the worst, Guardian. Navota has no choice but to defeat you.
With that, we saw her, waiting for us. I gracefully opened fire with a headshot, breaking her shield. As we laid into her once again, dealing with our onslaught of children. As the team followed in, we took space away from her, and she had to retreat, step by step. Step by step? Float by float, if that's the correct term. Not sure what you'd have to say for someone levitating. We took chase. She is not getting away from us this time. We pushed her to the final room. She had nowhere else to go. and the final battle for Navota, and for my new experience as a Guardian, begun. As we descended a hellfire of weaponry, bullets, magic upon her. The hardest battle of my life so far had begun. We had to deal with her troops first before she'd come out again. She'd been doing. She keeps hiding away, only returning when enough of her troops have been defeated. And upon defeating this knight, she made her re-emergence again, which I welcomed her back with a few 12 times grenade launcher hits, which shattered her shield and let the team do some decent damage. Her health was melting like butter. When Navota was making her final stand, I got too cocky. I moved into the midst of her forces, surviving but just barely, my health a sliver. I, for some reason, jumped into the fray of her troops, trying to get the final blow on her, take the glory. However, this was a grave mistake on my front, as I was soon surrounded and experienced my second death, as I was cornered and shot down by Navota. My second death wasn't as bad as the first, but before I could even get rid of my gear, she was defeated by the team. It was done. I'd hoped to have seen it, but a win is a win in the end. And I got some new rewards, new armor to replace the ones I had just lost. I guess some things are okay in the end. This is what I'm going to have to do every time I die in this game. And when I run out of armor, I will have to get something from the collection. A grey piece of armor. You literally can't get them any other way but this. And that's what I have to wear when, say, I've only got one of those, one more capes left. If I run out, I've only got one, so when it's dismantled, I'm going to have to get something from the collection. Like, Navota was dead. And with that, I returned to the tower to report my work to Zavala. Thank you for watching part 2. I hope part 2's been an improvement on part 1. Hope my energy's been more up there because I was very monotone last time. And I hope the talking sounds more natural. I hope it will eventually, more and more get that. And I hope the premise is understandable. And I hope it, most importantly, I hope it's entertaining. I know it's not much at the moment, but gotta start somewhere. And hopefully you can evolve with this world. And maybe you guys can help as well. I need a name for this series. If you want, anyone got any suggestions, ideas, anyone who knows Destiny, of course. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope you had a good time, and hope to see you next time as soon as I can. Exams are coming up, so videos will probably slow down for a few weeks, even though they weren't coming fast in the first place, obviously. But you know what I mean. Thank you for watching very much, and have a good day.